Welcome to The Bazaar, where we uncover the weirdest and most fascinating facts about the food on your plate. From honey that lasts forever to berries that aren't really berries, get ready for a dive into the strange side of what we eat. Let's start with a sweet little secret: the immortality of honey. Let's talk about one of the world's most mystical foods, honey. Imagine a food so pure and powerful that it can last forever. Archaeologists have found honey in ancient Egyptian tombs, and when they cracked open those jars, thousands of years old, the honey was still edible. How is that possible? Honey's secret lies in its natural chemistry. First, it has an incredibly low water content. Without much water, bacteria struggle to grow. Honey is also acidic, with a pH between 3 and 4.5. This level of acidity helps kill off bacteria and other harmful microorganisms. But it doesn't end there. Honey contains a small amount of hydrogen peroxide. Bees add an enzyme called glucose oxidase to nectar, which produces hydrogen peroxide when honey is mixed with water. This natural preservative gives honey an extra layer of defense, protecting it from spoiling. In ancient Egypt, honey was even considered sacred. It was often placed in tombs as an offering to the gods or as a food source for the afterlife. They believed honey held the power to preserve not just itself, but also the spirit of the deceased. Honey's uses go beyond food. It's been used as a natural medicine for centuries, from treating wounds to soothing sore throats. And with its anti-inflammatory and antibacterial properties, modern science still backs up many of honey's ancient health claims. So next time you open a jar of honey, remember you're enjoying a food with a history as sweet as it is long-lasting. It's a true marvel of nature, and perhaps the closest thing we have to edible immortality. Our next bizarre food fact might leave coffee lovers torn. Imagine the world's most expensive coffee coming from poop. Meet Kopi Luwak, a coffee like no other, made from beans that have taken a rather unique journey through the digestive system of a small creature called the Asian palm civet. Let's start with the process. The palm civet, a small nocturnal mammal native to Southeast Asia, eats ripe coffee cherries, which are the fruit surrounding the coffee bean. These civets are naturally selective, only choosing the ripest, juiciest cherries. Once eaten, the cherries travel through the civet's digestive system, where they undergo a unique fermentation. The enzymes in the civet's stomach break down the proteins in the beans, altering their chemical structure. This supposedly gives the beans a smoother, less acidic, and more complex flavor profile than regular coffee. After being processed, the beans are excreted by the civet and then collected by coffee farmers. The beans are thoroughly washed, sun-dried, and roasted, ready to be brewed into one of the world's most luxurious and expensive cups of coffee. A single cup can cost between $35 and $100, while a pound can go for hundreds of dollars. So what's it taste like? Fans of Kopi Luwak describe it as smooth, with earthy and chocolatey undertones, a delicate body, and an almost caramel-like sweetness. Some say it's the finest coffee they've ever had, but others think it's more a novelty than a taste sensation. As luxurious as it sounds, Kopi Luwak comes with controversy. Demand for this rare coffee has led to unethical practices in some areas. To meet demand, some coffee producers keep civets in captivity, in small, unhygienic cages, force-feeding them coffee cherries. This has raised serious animal welfare concerns. Because of this, animal rights organizations are urging consumers to be cautious when buying Kopi Luwak. Look for ethical, wild-sourced options where civets roam freely in their natural habitat, eating cherries of their own choice. Although harder to find, these types of Kopi Luwak support the well-being of civets and the environment. So next time you're offered a cup of Kopi Luwak, you'll know the story behind this unusual coffee, from forest to cup, and from wild beans to a luxury brew. Whether you think it's a taste worth trying or just a strange curiosity, Kopi Luwak definitely takes coffee to a whole new level of bizarre. Ever noticed that tingly feeling when you eat pineapple? That's because pineapple has a secret weapon, an enzyme called bromelain that breaks down protein. When you eat it, the bromelain starts breaking down the proteins in your mouth, essentially eating you back. And luckily, your stomach acid neutralizes it, but for a brief moment, the pineapple is fighting back. Here's a surprising fact. Bananas are berries, but strawberries aren't. Botanically speaking, true berries develop from one ovary and have seeds inside. That makes bananas, kiwis, and even cucumbers true berries, while strawberries, which develop from multiple ovaries, are imposters in the berry world. Lobster was once the food of prisoners and the poor. In colonial America, lobsters were so common they were considered cheap and low class. Prisoners, servants, and even livestock were fed lobster because it was considered a trash food. And today, however, it's a luxury, proving that one man's trash can become another man's treasure. Next up, let's crack open a surprising fact about pistachios. These tasty green nuts may seem harmless, but did you know that pistachios can spontaneously combust? That's right, these small nuts hold some explosive secrets. Here's how it works. Pistachios have a high fat content, and fat is very energy-rich. When pistachios are packed together in large quantities, especially in warm or poorly ventilated storage, the fats in the nuts can start to oxidize. This process releases heat, a lot of it. As the nuts oxidize and heat up, the temperature can keep rising, creating what's called a self-heating effect. In extreme cases, if there's not enough air circulation to cool the nuts down, this can cause the pistachios to burst into flames or even explode. Because of this, pistachio shippers and suppliers have to be extra cautious. They often transport pistachios in smaller batches with ample ventilation to reduce the risk of spontaneous combustion. In fact, pistachios are classified as a flammable good during shipping, which isn't exactly something you'd expect from a humble nut. And this isn't just a modern concern. In the 1800s, sailors transporting pistachios on ships reported mysterious fires breaking out in the cargo hold. It was only later that scientists realized the true culprit: overheating pistachios. So next time you snack on pistachios, remember, you're nibbling on a nut with a fiery side. But don't worry. As long as you're not carrying a ton of them in a sealed room, you're safe to enjoy their creamy, nutty flavor. From the farm to the table, pistachios undergo careful handling to ensure they don't ignite along the way. These little nuts have proven to be as fascinating as they are tasty, making them yet another bizarre food in our lineup. Next time you reach for cashews, remember, they're poisonous in their raw form. Raw cashews contain urushiol, the same compound that makes poison ivy dangerous. To make them edible, cashews are steamed to remove the toxins. So think twice before you go all natural with cashews. Next, let's take a closer look at a food experiment that's as strange as it is scientific. Did you know that if you cut a grape in half and microwave it, it can create plasma, a state of matter usually found in lightning and stars? Here's how it works. If you take a grape, cut it almost all the way in half, but leave a small piece of skin connecting the two halves, you create a little bridge for energy. When microwaved, the grape quickly absorbs microwaves and focuses that energy on this tiny bridge, heating it to incredibly high temperatures. This intense heat causes the moisture inside the grape to vaporize, creating a small amount of gas. But that's not all. The microwaves keep energizing the gas, eventually turning it into plasma, a superheated state of matter filled with charged particles that glows and sparks. When the grape bridge becomes too hot, it creates a small burst of energy that looks like a tiny firework inside your microwave. But be careful. This experiment can damage your microwave if not done correctly. So what exactly is plasma? Plasma is the fourth state of matter, along with solid, liquid, and gas. It's made of ionized particles with electrical charges, and we usually see it in lightning bolts or the sun. By microwaving a grape, you're creating a miniature plasma show right in your kitchen. Scientists have even used this grape plasma experiment to study energy transfer and microwaves. While it's mainly just a cool science trick, it demonstrates how ordinary foods can have extraordinary behaviors when put under the right conditions. So the next time you look at a grape, think about the hidden power inside. It's more than just a juicy snack, it's a potential plasma maker. But remember, it's a show best enjoyed on YouTube rather than in your microwave at home. Some foods have a special glow-in-the-dark ability. Tonic water, thanks to quinine, glows under a black light, and some fish and mushrooms naturally bioluminesce. So if you ever want a glowing drink, grab some tonic water and a black light for a spooky effect. And there you have it. The strange and shocking world of bizarre food facts. Next time you snack, you'll be wondering what mysteries your food holds. From exploding pistachios to immortal honey, our meals are full of surprises. Stay curious and stay bizarre.